So my name is Christina Gelinas, and I'm the facilitator of one of the women's cancer support groups here at HopeSpring. So every other Tuesday evening, this beautiful group of women who have been diagnosed with cancer meet virtually to share their stories, get support, give support, laugh, cry, and learn about each other and cancer, and how to navigate difficulties and triumphs during their cancer experiences. So in our group meetings, I like to instill this reciprocal sense of support with everyone. So yes, each woman is logging into a meeting to get support, and also by showing up and being present, they're giving support to everyone else and all the women in the group. So one other thing I like to remind everyone is that their presence is enough. Just holding space for others to share their stories is so powerful. And I really like to build that up among the group.
Amazing.
Because it can feel, sometimes, really tough things are coming up for people, and, we're not there to fix anyone or solve problems, but just knowing, seeing someone nod their head when you share your story can just mean so much, to know that you're being heard and you're understood, and then just by being there, you're giving that gift to everyone else. The meeting is held every other Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and that's via Zoom. And then if you're interested in joining the group, you can register on the HopeSpring website, and that's under programs, and then there's a link to the program calendar, and then on the calendar you can find one of the Tuesday evening groups, and when you link to there, it'll lead you to the registration page, and then you can sign up for the Women's Cancer Support Group with Christina on Tuesday evenings. So my connection with cancer is I'm actually 11 and a half years out from my own breast cancer diagnosis and treatment. So I've been through sitting in front of a doctor being told that I have cancer, and feeling that fear and all the unknowns. So I sit in the facilitator's chair in these meetings, but I'm also a peer among the women in the group, and so it's actually it's really helpful for me too. So even though I bring the skills in a facilitator capacity, I'm always learning and growing along with the other women, and being able to share my story, I think is really helpful for people in the group as well, to know that I've sat in a similar position to where they are, and so I have that experience as well. Originally learned about HopeSpring when I moved to Cambridge from Toronto in 2018. So I had been through the group support facilitators workshop through the Canadian Cancer Society, and I was looking for a cancer support center in the area, and wanted to see if there was space for me to maybe volunteer as a support group facilitator. So I did a good old Google search, and it led me to HopeSpring, and the rest is history. So I started the first group in July of 2019. So I've been doing this, it's coming up on 6 years now. So my inspiration comes from all those, 11 and a half years ago when I was diagnosed and feeling scared and unsure and just feeling all the whirlwind of emotions that come with being told you have cancer. And I was actually connected with a peer supporter, and I had some really meaningful conversations with her, and she really helped me through those early days of uncertainty and fear, and just knowing that there was someone on the other end of the phone who was 7 years out from her own diagnosis. And I just was like, okay, she's there, she got through it, I can do this. And so it was actually really inspiring for me. And I thought, I'm going to get through this, and one day I want to be able to do this for someone else one day, going through this experience. And so, like, just almost from day one, from my own diagnosis, I knew that this was going to be something for me to move towards, to be able to be some kind of support for someone else going through their own cancer experience. So I know firsthand what it's like to have someone in front of you or on the phone, or just knowing, like, you could have, completely different cancers, you can have different treatment plans, different prognoses, but it's still, there's still that shared, this shared experience. And it's, even if you have a lot of support around you, there's just something so bonding and special about that peer support, knowing that someone else has been in your shoes and they just get it. You don't even have to explain in too many words. They understand. Yeah, absolutely. So some of the recurring comments that I hear are that members, they feel lighter after a meeting, and even if they didn't necessarily feel that they had anything to share, and they were just going to join the group for, some connection, and, maybe they've enjoyed the group and they keep coming, they frequently end up realizing that there actually was there were some emotions or thoughts weighing on them, and that the support and the sharing of the other members in the group, it gave them some insight into what's going on for them, and then having that connection with the other women too, who are, going through similar things, even if you hadn't realized maybe that's something that was weighing on you. And then something else that I noticed, that even on the screen, in all these little Zoom squares, there's this noticeable physical shift in the group members from the start of a meeting to the end of the meeting. So at the beginning of the meeting, everyone's, joining after a busy day or having some stress and tension, because of our meetings are held in the evening. And then I notice as the meeting evolves and stories are shared and connections are made, it's as if everyone's just had this chance to decompress and maybe not feel their burdens as heavily as when they joined the meeting. And I think it's just so lovely to see these connections, and the support each member contributes to the group. It's like this really cool, where you feel like your cup is filled, like you feel like you're full, but then also you feel lighter. And so it's this like really nice balance after you've shared what you need to share, but then also hearing from other people too, I think, is a really important piece of this experience as well. There's one member in particular, and she's been part of the group from day one. So the first day that I started the group, all shaky and nervous, not knowing, if I'm going to be okay as a facilitator, and how is this going to go. And so she's been there since day one, and she still regularly joins the group. And it's almost as if I have this support as well. And so she has a really beautiful way of articulating. She has a beautiful way with words. And so sometimes even throughout the meeting, she'll write a poem, or she'll write something inspiring, or actually find something inspiring online from, and I don't know if she's taking notes, but she's just really paying attention to what everyone says. And anytime she does say something, it's so meaningful and has such a huge impact on the whole group, and almost gives us more to think about, and not in a burdensome way, but in a way that feels more hopeful, or things we haven't thought about that can maybe make this experience a little easier. Just knowing her and hearing the things that she has to say. And then there are a few other women in the group who've been in the group since the beginning, and I almost feel like they're kind of my support system as well. And so I sometimes feel like it's so easy for me, because they have this way too of asking other members in the group questions, and so it's this beautiful flow. Like sometimes I just feel like, wow, it's so easy for me. I just kind of like sit back, but it's really nice to have that the support of women who have been in the group for a while, and then having them be able to build up new people who are joining and make everyone feel comfortable. I think there's one member in my group who says this often, especially to people who are just starting the group. And I think she even says this outside of the group, but she said that even if you don't think that a support group is for you, like maybe I don't need it, because she was like, no, I don't need a support group. I'm okay. I'll be fine. Just getting through this, whatever. And then she's also someone that I know from outside of the group. And so she trusted, she already had kind of like the trust in me. And so she thought, well, I'll just go to one meeting and see how it is. And just that first meeting gave her so much to take away, so much support, so much strength from the other women. Just knowing that everything she had to say was heard. She felt like she mattered. She heard people, reflect back to her that they were feeling the same way, or they shared things with her, people who were farther along there, maybe doing treatments that she was going to do, learning like what could happen when, you're going through certain treatments, or just things like that, where she's like, I never thought I was the type to need a support group, but she said once I joined, it's like, she's like, I can't not go anymore, because it's just so important in my life. So just from a member who just would highly recommend anyone just to even give it a shot, to come to one meeting and just see how it feels, and just to even get one meeting of support. Some people just come for one meeting, and maybe that's all they need, and then others are lifers, I guess we call them too. So they're in it for the long haul. I really try to make our meeting space a very safe and inclusive space. And so I'd like people to know that even though there are members who join often and have been coming for years and years, um, it's not it's not like a cliquey sort of thing. It's a really open and beautiful group, very welcoming and very supportive, and we have so many moments of laughter. And if we need to cry, we cry. It's just a really safe and welcoming and open and supportive space. And so I would really welcome, and I'd love to see anyone who's even pondering maybe joining the group, just not be afraid, even though it might feel scary. We're here for you, and we're here to support you.